Wake up, wake up. It's your favorite big cousin. Always invited to the cookout, headed to the top, so look out. Tater too what? Too real. And today, guys, I want to talk to you about Bethune Cookman University and their $10 million football practice field set to be built and ready by August of this year. But first, let's take it back to the beginning. The past 10 years has been some of the more tumultuous and controversial times in this storied institution's legacy, as you have board of trustee members stealing money, you have facilities and buildings looking like they were 200 years old, let alone 50 to 60 years old, and you needed development and upgrades everywhere around the campus. Meanwhile, you had loans coming into the school that were supposed to be for buildings and dorms and all that type of stuff come up missing. I mean, we're talking about almost $100 million worth of loans came up missing. So there's been a lot of corruptions. Bethune Cookman is on their third president in the last 10 years. And it's just been a bad time for Bethune Cookman University. Fast forward to 2022. 2022, Bethune Cookman University and athletic director Reggie Theus hired Ed Reed to come in and be their next football coach, hoping that this will bring the school the much needed attention, much needed sponsorships, much needed donors to help them get to where they want to be. Meanwhile, Ed Reed came in and exposed Bethune Cookman to the world. He talked about the facilities. He talked about the conditions of the campus, like broken fences so homeless people can walk in and off campus, lack of security for the students. Meanwhile, you had, like I just said, you had homeless people approaching students on campus asking for money. And Ed Reed pointed all these things out. I mean, the bad equipment, mold in the football helmets, sharing locker rooms, sharing the equipment, things that can lead to long-term health problems. I mean, if you got mold in your helmet, that can cause severe lung damage in the future, and so on and so on, right? So Ed Reed exposed him to the world. A lot of people were 50-50 on that. Some people were happy that he did that, and a lot of people were angry that he exposed the school in that light. All in all, it brought the school the much needed attention that it needed, because it was all over the news. It was even on talk shows, sports talk shows, and it was a big issue, and I'm glad that he did it overall. Now you're seeing the board of trustees come up with $10 million all of a sudden to build this football practice field that Ed Reed started. And this is good. Like I said before about the Jackson State situation, I made a video about Jackson State and the foundation that Deion Sanders laid there, and the foundation that's going to continue. He built the practice field at Jackson State. He got them a partnership with Under Armour that's going to continue. And Jackson State is set for long-term success, started by Deion. And just building a practice facility on campus is such a big deal for a school like Bethune Cookman and HBCUs in general. I'm a fan of HBCU football. It's different. It has pageantry. People go for the show. They dress up. They enjoy the band. And it's kind of like a big family reunion. So HBCU football is very important as far as American football also, because like I just said, it's something different about HBCU football. You're not going to see it at the Alabamas and the Floridas and, all those type of schools. It's just different. So every time I see these stories about HBCUs upgrading facilities, getting money, doing things to better their condition, I'm always a big fan of that. That always brings a big smile to my heart. And this whole Bethune Cookman thing is beautiful. Yeah, it sucks that it took Ed Reed putting a foot in their ass and exposing them to the world for them to start doing this, but either way, it's getting done. And I'm so happy for those student athletes to not have to worry about mold in the helmet, terrible equipment, terrible everything, you know what I mean? So it looks like Bethune Cookman University and their board of trustees are finally stepping up and going to put their money where their mouth is. They're going to put their money back into the institution and keep Dr. Mary McLeod's legacy alive. I mean, at one point, Bethune Cookman University was facing accreditation issues. They were facing issues as far as closing their institution for good. And, I didn't want to see that. I'm from Daytona Beach, Florida. I grew up going to Bethune Cookman games, going to Florida Classics. Both of my parents went to Bethune Cookman University. So to say the least, this school's mean a lot to me personally. So this is a beautiful story. I'm glad Bethune Cookman University are making strides to upgrade their practice facilities and upgrade the conditions for their student athletes. Because if an institution has a successful football program, that's long-term success. That brings in more money, more sponsorships, more more public, like what's the right word I'm trying to say? Yeah, more public exposure, all those things. So this is a beautiful story. You guys let me know what you think about this. Am I right? Am I wrong? Is Bethune Cookman headed in the right direction? But this is your boy Tater Too Real, where we always keep it too what? Too real. Holla.